life. Um, like I, I I, I play a lot of games. I am somebody who's grown up with Subway Surfer and GTA Vice City and other games on my phones. And I kept thinking when I play these games on how I actually play these games. I am a big fan of Township and all of these other games who are extremely interactive and extremely clickbaity, extremely fun, they keep you on toes and they keep you like super engaged in all everything that you do, right? Sometimes you're taking a break from your work and you're like, oh, what's happening in my XYZ game? So I want to talk about how the whole game concept and the whole gamification concept can be applied to our own lives and how we can use that to kind of level up everything that we're doing. So let's talk about how when you play a game, say Plant vs Zombie or GTA Vice City or Township or any play game that you play, when you play these games, and you have the option, you get like these coins or etc, and then you have the option to upgrade your bike, upgrade your cycle, upgrade your clothing, or dress you a certain way. I have somebody again who's in her college days. I used to love PUBG. I used to play PUBG like crazy. Still have friends who call me PUBG Darshini, and which is crazy because I used to play PUBG so much when I was in college. And I started thinking about when I had the PUBG character. I started with when I created my own profile on PUBG. I chose the character. I chose her hair. I chose the clothing that she was wearing. I chose what she was holding in her hand. I chose the kind of shoes she was wearing. And I started thinking, why don't we start applying that to our personal life? Like wherever you are right now, you might be in a situation where you are not extremely happy, or you might be in this situation where you are not at your 100% best self. You might be, I hope you're not struggling, but if you are, why don't you start thinking about this whole point of gamification of your own life? Like if you were in a game, how would you want to live your life? Wouldn't you want to live in a mansion instead of like a 1 BHK? Wouldn't you want to live as like the as a person who's respected instead of somebody who is not known at all? In a game, if you were in a game, if it was a game that you could play all day and you could create your own personality, wouldn't you start asking yourself on how can I actually get better at this particular game? You would constantly play that game. You would constantly ask yourself this question on how I can do better at this particular game. Right? If you are somebody who had just one car, you'd upgrade to 4 cars, you'd upgrade to 8 cars, you'd like like think of any game that you play, that you've played till date. Think of any game that has added value to your life, that you have yes, PUBG Darshini, yes, that's what I was called. I used to love playing PUBG. I'm still a crazy fan. I used to come out as MVP so many times. Sorry, I got a call. Can you guys hear me? Hello, hello. I'd love and appreciate if somebody could tell me if you can hear me. Yes, can you hear me? Yes, perfect. Thank you. So when I was playing PUBG or when I was playing all of these other games, constantly kept thinking about how can I get better at this particular game? How can I had a character and I had the option to kind of make this particular character, right? She could have the hair she wanted, she could wear the clothing she wanted, she could wear the jewelry she wanted, she could wear the earrings she wanted, and you could always make that character into anything that you wanted, which is so crazy. When you can do that in a particular game, why can't you do that in your personal life? Why can't you treat your life as if it's a game, and why can't you constantly keep upgrading yourself to become that dream self? Now honestly, your dream self will consistently change. One day you'll want to live a certain way, and 5 years down the line you'll live a certain way. I think there are very rare people who consistently have one goal. People's goals and hopes and dreams keep consistently changing, but if you had the chance, how would you get better at your own life? How would you, if you were in a game, how would you get better? So if life was a game and you had the option to do anything that you wanted, from like the way you lived, from where you lived, oh my god, from where you lived, imagine if you were in a game, and imagine a game as your life, right? So when you think of it, where does your imaginary self, where does your gamification side of self live? Where do you live? Maybe you are somebody who's currently living in a city. Does your does a version of you live near the beach? Does a version of you live in the mountains? Do they live near their parents? Do they live wherever they want to live? Right now, you always have this one image in your head that you will live in a certain place. You will live your particular life in a certain way. You'll dress a certain way. Uh, you'll have certain kind of hair, you will have certain kind of friends, and in your life, in your personal life, even if you can't do that right now immediately, there is an option that you can always get to that. Why don't you make your whole life like a game, and why don't you start acting on your goals as if they were part of a game? Why, if you are, say, like I've in all the characters that I've created till now, all the games that I've played, I've always had short hair. When I was thinking about this topic since the morning, I started thinking about what did I actually want in my game life, and one of those things was having short hair. And when I cut my hair, I didn't really realize it, but I realized it while I was thinking about this today. Ki hey, my gamified self actually has short hair. She is cool. She can talk the way she wants to. She can wear the clothes she wants to. She makes ton of money. She lives in her dream life. She lives near a beach. She has her own house, a Portuguese house. She has a good healthy lifestyle. She has a lean body. She is fit. She goes to the gym. She goes to boxing classes. And again, when you go into this delusion, right? When you go into this thought of in your mind, then you kind of know understand you kind of understand where you actually want to be. Why don't you take the time? She is delulu and she loves it, and delusion is the reason she's gotten here. We love that. uh, okay, so why don't you take the time today or weekend or whenever? Why don't you take some time to go into nature or go on a walk, and don't listen to music, don't listen to any podcast. Just start thinking about, if it was a game and if you wanted to live your dream life, what would that dream be? What would you want to do? Would you want to live in a certain place, wear certain clothes, have a certain kind of partner? Because oh my god, that's super important. What kind of friends would you work out hang out with? What kind of friends would you actually invest your time in? What kind of friends would you actually like talk to, have a conversation with? What kind of people would you be surrounded by? What kind of meals would you eat? And in our gamification life, right, you don't actually have to focus on a lot about what you actually eat, because you're like, okay, I'm eating fried chicken every day, but I'm feeling well because it's a game. But in your dream life, there is, again, I always talk about this potential side of you. There is this potential side of you that you can build. That is this potential side of you that you want to live. There is this beautiful side of you. Imagine that potential side of you. Do you think that potential side of you would settle for something less? Do you think that potential side of you would be happy in like a 10,000 salary? Do you think that potential side of you would be happy just living the life that's an average life? No, I don't think so. Like, the potential side of me, the potential side of you deserves the world. Stop thinking about all of these, like, random thoughts that don't add value. I'm a overthinker, and I sometimes go back to thinking, oh my god, what did I do in college, and who did I mess up with, and all the mistakes that I've done. And it's very normal, it's very human of you if you do that, because our brains will play such games with ourselves, right? Our brains will play so many games with ourselves, where they'll keep telling us that you're not good enough, you are barely surviving, whatever. But if you keep telling your brain ki, hey, I am rich, I am beautiful, I am smart, I can do this, I can do anything in this world, I want to live a certain way, then your brain, instead of thinking all of these negative thoughts, will now start thinking of, how do I get better from whatever I am in right now? If I want to be better than what I was yesterday, I would consistently ask myself this question of, what a better Darshini wants. What kind of life does better Darshini want? Does she want a life where she owns houses? Does she want a life where she has multiple businesses? Does she want a life where she's extremely fashionable, she knows so many skills, she lives near the water, she drinks a lot of water, she is hydrated, her skin is extremely beautiful. I keep asking myself this question, and I keep telling my brain that hey, I have beautiful skin. So if you can see right now, my skin is not doing great because I don't know, maybe I haven't been taking care of it since the year started. uh, yeah, I'd regret. Somebody who talks a lot about positive notes, haven't been taking actually good care of my skin. But I'll get there. I will get to, and I don't want to tell myself that, oh my god, I don't have a great skin. I want to tell myself that I will get a great skin. My potential self has amazing, beautiful skin. My potential self lives in different countries, makes so much money, lives the way she wants, wears the clothes she wants, does the education she wants, works on herself consistently. My potential self has something with her which will add value to herself, to her friends, to her partner, to the people where she goes. Imagine if you were in a game. Imagine that. Imagine you, in your game, you're constantly making more money, right? You're constantly searching for more places to make money. You're constantly believing that, oh, let's go find more money, let's go look for more people that can be our friends. Let's go better our game, let's learn how to do this particular skill. You're constantly thinking that. Then why are you not doing that in your personal life? Why, when you have, say, resources, why are you not investing in yourself? Why are you not becoming better at your own game? Why are you not becoming like this independent cool self who knows stuff, who is able to stand in front of people, have a conversation, become like extremely cool, becomes extremely chill? I always wanted to be a chill person. I don't think I'm much chill, a lot of like chill person, but I'm getting there. I think I'm consistently working on it. That's how it is, no? You consistently work on what is important to you. You consistently work on how you want to feel. You're consistently working on how to make yourself better in your games as well, right? You consistently know what buttons to push and how to take that jump and how to take that particular jump to cross that particular bridge. You are consistently getting better. And when you get the coins, when you get the gold coins, you are upgrading yourself. You're upgrading your clothing, you're upgrading your equipment, you're upgrading your land that you have. You're consistently doing that. Then why is your life not a game? And why in your life, when you know it's like a game, why are you not consistently working on that? Why are you not becoming this person who knows so much? Like, imagine if you were in a game, right? If you are somebody who's extremely obsessed with like gaming or something, when I am in a game, I will become so obsessed with it that I'll try and understand what my villain is doing. How do I kill that villain? Slip of tongue, sorry. How What my villain is doing, how do I kill that villain, how do I get better than the villain, how many ammunition do I want to kill that particular zombie or villain, how do I get to like a space where it is easy for me to kill this particular villain that I have. Why? And I When we can do that for a game that's like a free game or a PS game or whatever, why can't we do that in for ourselves? Why don't we take some time for to go on walks or to go on just like solo dates with ourselves and figure out what we actually want? What do we actually want? There is no age or time, or there is nothing as such. I think a lot of people will come and tell me that, and they'll go into this whole yeah, sorry, I shouldn't use those words, but when you constantly think of these games, right? Why when you A lot of people will come and complain around me, and they'll always tell me that, hey, hey, I'm just stuck, I am like, I have such a like, I have to work for 12 hours, I have such a hectic life, I have so much to do, I have this, I have that. And people consistently have this mentality where they go into this victim mode, where they keep asking themselves, they keep becoming this person where they feel very triggered and they're not happy with themselves. And I think that's such a wrong place to be. And even if you are in that space, like I yesterday I spoke in my life that I am not 100% happy with the space that I live in right now, or the job that I'm doing right now. And I'm not saying that I'm not grateful for it. I'm extremely grateful for it, because I could do that job, is the reason I'm staying here, is the reason I get to live in the place that I live. I get to live the life that I want to live. But there is always this potential self. Like my potential self makes so much money that it is uncountable at all times. Like I also always wanted to become this person who has so much money that she doesn't have to look at price tag. I think most people who have grown up in a middle class household, I think most of them have always told me that, hey, I want to become this person who doesn't have to look at price tag when they buy things. And all of these people will come and tell me that, hey, I think that, I will never be able to get there, which is such a hurtful thing, right, for yourself to say. Like when you make a promise to like your office that you'll join the meeting at 4 o'clock, or when you make a promise to a friend or something, you show up, don't you? You show up for that meeting, you show up for that friend, you show up for a date. Then why don't you show up for yourself? Why don't you go on walks and figure out what you want? Why don't you show up for yourself? Why don't you wake up, say half an hour early, and go for a walk? Why don't you sit and figure out what you want? Why don't you take time to journal? Why don't you take time to read and upskill yourself? Why don't you become this potential self that you can be? What is stopping you? Why in this game that we live in, that the life that we live in, why is your own character not upskilling and upgrading? You have to win this game, right? At the end of whatever, like when you find the princess, you have to mess the villain out. Yeah, you have to kind of kick the villain in the butt. Then if you have to get to that place, if you have to become this person who has to take care of the villain, why are you not consistently upgrading yourself? Why are you not consistently working on yourself to become this person who becomes so much good at their own game that nobody is able to mess with them? Why are we, if we are in a game of life, then why are we not upskilling ourselves? Why are we not taking the time out to learn about our own self, to ask the questions that, hey, what will make me happier? Do you think waking up early and going on a run will make happier? Yes. Then how do I get there? How do I take these runs? How do I take life seriously? How do I take like I always believe that what is meant for you is never going to pass you, but it will get delayed if you've not done the work. So if you are supposed to meet the love of your life in the next 6 months, but you are still stuck in this loop where you are getting distracted by these boys who don't treat you well. There are these people that are giving you like a very hot and cold moment, and you're like, oh my god, I don't know whether I want to be with them or not. And you're not taking a standard, you're not setting a standard. How will you find the right guy, or how will you find the right job if you are stuck in this loop of yours where you are like, oh my god, let it be, I will try it out? How will you get to your potential self? How will your character development happen? Imagine if you were if it was somebody was writing a book about you. Imagine that. And then how would that person write a book about you if you don't do like character development, if you don't heal yourself, your relationships, your body, your skin? How will this whole movie about you become extremely amazing if you don't consistently work on yourself, if you don't consistently become better at your own game? How is the book that is supposed to be written about you will have character, will have fun? Imagine all of these books that you've bought by, I think I've bought books by Durjoy Datta, I've bought books by Chetan Bhagat. All of these books I've read initially when I was starting to read books. Whenever I picked up a book and I started reading about, like on the back of the page they write some summary about the books, right? They'll write that this particular character does this and messes up his relationships, and the whole book is about the fight of how he fixes that relationship with himself, with his partner, etc, etc. So there is always like this curve, there's always like this climax that is supposed to come, there is always this fun one twist and turn that is supposed to come, that you are supposed to create, that you have to take that turn, you have to make that change. Imagine if you don't change, imagine if you remain that same person. Like, even in office, I think when I started working for the first time, I used to be extremely jolly and fun and professional, not so professional, very fun, very jolly, very, like, people would walk all over me and I would sit there and work till 8 p.m. And then I realized that that's not how life works. And I started taking stand for myself. I started building boundaries. That was my character development in my professional world, where I could take a stand for myself, where I could stand up against all of these people who were troubling me, and I could say ki, hey, I want to be better, and for me to be better, for me to character develop myself, I will take care, I will make sure that I take the time to get out of office at certain hours and do better in my own personal life. And it doesn't matter, like, with time, with like about 5-6 years of experience, I realized that I have gotten better with my communication in a professional setting, the kind of the kind of clothes I wear, the kind of communication I have, the kind of mails I write. I've realized how my mail structure has changed, how I'm able to communicate with clients. Like, you consistently get better at your game, and that is how you are supposed to live your life. Then when you are doing that in a professional setting, why you're not doing that in your personal life? Like, why be a person who is say in their college or school not able to dress a certain way? Imagine you were in college or school and you were this person who did not have the money to live the life that they wanted to live, especially, and like dress the way they wanted to live, dress, because again they were like strict parents, or you never had the money to become money to kind of dress that particular certain way, because you were consistently like, you're consistently told you can't do, oh my god, you can't wear that, or you're consistently told, oh, you have to live a certain way. With time, when you got out of your comfort zone, when you got out of your, say, parents' house or something, you realize, right, that you have a fashion sense, that you have a way that you want to live, that you have a clothing style, and you upgraded yourself. And if you haven't yet, then that's a very bad sign. You have to do that right now. You're in a game, buddy. You are in this game, and you need to get to this level, this better level, where you have the best motorcycle, the best phone, the best car, the way you live is better, the way you dress is better, the way you are in your personal life is better. And it only keeps getting better if you start putting the effort in, if you start asking yourself this question: if this was a game, how would I be better at this game? I would probably learn to drive this particular car better. I used to play this biker wala game, which was called, I think, Moon Escape or something, where you had multiple like spaces where you could ride your bike or car or something. I don't remember the game, but I used to love that game. And every time I had a coin, I used to upgrade my bike wheels. I used to upgrade the kind of suspension it has, the kind of, I used to choose the color that I wanted. I used to do so many things. Like, I used to buy the next car, next XYZ, and do like 100 meters and 500 meters and then 1000 meters. And I used to consistently work on getting to that one point where I haven't gotten before, like make more coins. My whole thing was, I'm a crazy gamer, of course. Now you know that if I get addicted to a game, I have to play that game. I can be a little obsessive. When I start playing like a game, I am consistently thinking, how do I make the next bigger score? How do I make the best coins? How do I get better at this particular game? So gamification is something that really helps me, because I get very competitive. And especially if you are somebody who's extremely competitive and has grown up competitive, gamification of your life is going to especially change your life, because you will now think of life as if it's a game, and you will consistently now start thinking about it as, how do I upskill myself, how do I get to a place where I can do better in this game, how do I get to a space where instead of a car, I have now like this dirt bike or something. Instead of just like this instead of owning one car, I have two cars. I'm like, I wear the best clothing. Instead of just wearing silver, I wear gold now. how do I get to a point where I am able to gamify my brain into thinking and into getting better from wherever I am? So now currently I am living in like a city, and I'm living in a 1 BH. I'm living in like this one room. How do I make this in my gamified life, right? So I start thinking about how do I make this room like a bigger room. I mean, not physically, like I can't break the doors and windows and make this room bigger, but I consistently start thinking about if how do I get better at living in like a 2 BHK. How can I own the next iPhone or own the next MacBook and own the next so and so? Like I keep like putting my brain in this game thing, like how you when you do Duolingo, or how when you do say like all of this township and other games, when you're playing all of these other games, how every day you get a reward for consistently playing that game. You have to start giving yourself consistent rewards for showing up for yourself, and showing up for yourself is such a huge thing. Consistently showing up for self, consistency makes you like this amazing person that you can never think of. I've seen people who consistently go to the gym, uh, who are much more fitter, who are much more who have gotten much more better, who have gotten to a stage where they are unrecognizable. They have gotten to this place where they're like, oh my god, you look at them and you're like, what happened? I have seen this one person, Sarfaraz. Oh, it's okay. I hated myself too when I was unhappy with myself. But I love myself because I started consistently working on myself to get better. I hated the whole world when I did not like my own self. Hurt people, hurt people. So I guess all you have to do is to love yourself enough to understand that you love the world. Okay. I know this person who was this extremely thin person, okay, and if you looked at him, you would just be like, okay, he's like this very like timid guy. He doesn't know, he's very shy and he doesn't know. And then about last year, somewhere in September or something, he started going to the gym, and I consistently saw his pictures, him going to the gym. And now I met him recently, and he's extremely unrecognizable. I was like, wow, how did you do that? And when I asked him how did he do that, he told me that he consistently went to the gym, he took care of his diet, he took care of his food intakes, he started treating his life in a different way, he started getting better at his game, he started getting better with like working out and asking questions, and he consistently worked on himself so much that he is extremely unrecognizable now. Also because he was thinner and very timid right before. After going to the gym, he has differently changed. Like his energy is so different. First of all, it's extremely positive. He comes off as a very strong and independent personality. He's not timid and shy anymore. He's able to put his point forward, he's able to speak his mind, he's able to uh, give his opinion, and it is so cool. And I love seeing people like that. I love seeing people who put in the effort to become so better. And I asked him, how did you get better at gymming, or how, because he had never stepped a foot in the gym. I started asking him, how did you get better at gym? So he told me that I started treating it like a fun game, and I started telling myself that I'm like Super Mario, and I have to save the princess at the end of the game. So I Super Mario can't save the princess at the end if he's not strong enough. And consistently started going to the gym, and that told me, yes, gamification really works. And it especially works with somebody who has been into sports, who's been into, like, who's extremely competitive. Like if you are anything like me, if you are any you have even a little bit of competition in your head, and you get very like, oh my god, I can't lose. Gamify your life, gamify it. Tell yourself, if you go to if your goal is say going to the gym, tell yourself that if you start going to the gym 5 days a week, like at the end of that week, I will reward myself with something, say like a candy bar or like a cheat meal or something, or whatever that is for you. Ice cream, let's say ice cream, because it's um, It's something that I do. So start gamifying it, and you tell yourself, okay, at the end of this week I'll give myself ice cream. At the end of the month, if I go to the gym 20 times a week or 25 times a week, I will give myself a shoe, or at the or I will give myself like a watch. Oh, my watch doesn't have battery. Start giving yourself these rewards. Start treating your life as if it's a game. Give like, give yourself gold coins, give yourself whatever form of gold coins it is. Tell yourself that you will buy your dream dress at the end of this week if I go to the gym consistently for 5 days or something. um, it with like Mintra and with like Swiggy and Zomato and Blinkit and Zepto, everything has become so accessible. Like, it's so easy to find anything that you want, that the whole reward fun has kind of, has lost its charm. But try and mentally become this person that is able to give yourself something by the end of this particular week or month or something, so you can get to a place where you are consistently working on yourself, consistently becoming and building, and consistently moving up the ladder, consistent from like 2 days of running, go to 5 days of running, go to a week of running, go to whatever, like a month. In a month you go to like 30 days of running, go run a marathon or something, go do 330, I think, go do 30, what is it called, go do 3 kilometers in 30 minutes. I think it's the most easy one, not easy one, the most thing that I also consistently am trying to do is 5 kilometers in 30 minutes. When you do that, when you hit that goal and you're able to do 5 kilometers in 30 minutes, by the end of that, give yourself something. Give yourself like a recognition, give yourself the dress that you want, give yourself the whatever, like the watch that you wanted, the shoes that you wanted, that will better your game. Treat yourself as if it's a game. Treat yourself as if you are in this, as if at the end of this game you have to fight a villain and you have to be extremely strong at your own game. Now this applies to even like YouTube. I have taken up this challenge of doing 30 days, like each one live every day. So I've been doing these lives for about last 15 days, and I can promise and I can tell you that I have gotten so good speaking at the camera. Like, if you go and check my first ever lives, you'll not see me extreme, first of all, not this confident. You'll not see me in like good lighting. You would have not seen me this comfortable talking into the camera, the light falling in the right places. I told myself, if I'm able to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of February, I'm going to buy myself a mic. That is the reward. That is the way I've gamified my brain. That if I have 1,000 subs by the end of February, I'm going to buy myself a mic, and I'm going to do these lives extremely consistently. I'm going to be, I know that I will get there, but for me to get there, I have to consistently push myself. Okay, laziness, procrastination, demotivation, they are real things. They are exactly something that not just you and me face. That's something that everybody faces. Nobody is perfect. Nobody is at a level where they can be extremely perfect. I don't think I have anybody in my life who goes to the gym every day, who doesn't cheat once in a while. Food cheat, no, not other kind of cheat, who is sometimes get lazy and just says, hey, I don't want to do this, or I don't feel like it, I have a pimple on my face, I don't want to do life. I've been that person. Look at this pimple. This pimple was making me feel like I shouldn't do this live. But I told myself, if I want that mic, which costs I think 16,000, which is like a big amount right now, if I want that 16,000 mic by the end of February, I will have to get to 1,000 followers. If I have to get to 1,000 subscribers, I have to consistently do lives and do get better at doing lives. Get so better at doing lives that that if I have to do that life, even when I'm going on a walk in like a forest, or even if I am traveling somewhere, I should be able to get to that. So my 30-day challenge is going strong, first of all. And thank you to all of those people who are joining in. And I really hope that you take the time to subscribe to my YouTube channel, because I want to gamify this, and I want at the end of this, and at the end of this 30 days, if the end of February, if by the end of February I'm able to do 1000 subscribers, I'm gonna get myself a mic, and you'll be able to hear me much more better. So that like I'll get like this cool mic which is able to stand in a particular way. I'll start investing in like some lighting in the background. I'll start thinking about how do I make this better. Maybe I'll go to studio. I'll start making much more longer YouTube videos. I will start making my merch by the end of this year. I'm gonna make merch, and by February I know that I'm gonna make money out of YouTube. I'm so focused on it. Like in a game, you are so focused on making sure the villain loses and you win, that it doesn't matter where you are, and you're just consistently like, I don't know whether you've played Minecraft, or what was that game that we played during PUBG? I think it was called Mini Militia, if I'm not wrong. Like all my friends used to be so focused on Mini Militia. They would legit go into this extremely focused mode, and they would get super like intentional with the game. So I want you to become that intentional, how you become with like games like Super Mario or Subway Kart or whatever. I want you to become that intentional with your brain for yourself, to get to a stage which will level you up in so many ways that you'll not be able to understand. You want shorter hair, go do it. Have like a goal at the end of this. Like, you know, if I always tell myself, I think the shoes that I currently have, the running shoes that I currently have, they were torn, and I told myself I will not buy new shoes unless I run consistently for 7 days. Now most of the people will be like, oh, that's so cruel, you shouldn't do that, you will hurt yourself or something, right? So I gamified my brain so much that getting a reward by the end of 7 days, or by getting a reward by the end of 1 month, was like the goal. And while you are gamifying yourself, you are also training yourself to do like you now feel like you've earned that prize, and now you have to use that prize. If it's just like, okay, I'll just go to the Decathlon, or go to like XYZ site and just book it, there is no winning, right? There is no first place, or it's not a reward. And when you buy somebody, now that we have so much disposable income, now that we have so much money, now that everything is so accessible, I think it becomes very easy to buy stuff and forget about it. But when you gamify these things, like, you know, when you gamify everything that you own, then your life becomes very different. Then the respect that you have, the love that you have for the things that you own is very different. Like this top that I bought, I had not shopped for about 3-4 months, and I had loved this particular top, and I had put it on my Mintra cart, and I never ended up buying it, because I told myself, if by the end of whenever, like, you know, June sale or whatever sale, one, if it's available, then I'll get it, and second, I'll get it for myself when I feel extremely comfortable in my body to actually wear this. Like, I gamified it so nicely. By the end of it, when I actually bought it, it has so much value in my life. Like, I absolutely love wearing this, I absolutely love having this, and because I gamified this particular clothing item, it has so much special space in my heart. It has so much such a beautiful place in my heart, that it'll, even if I someday don't fit into it, or even if I have to give it away to my little cousins or something, that whole memory will always be there. Like, that whole thing will make me feel super special, that will make me feel so loved and so focused, right? Start gamifying yourself. Start gamifying everything that you have. Like, you know, make a list of things that you want to do, and keep ticking those items. Like, in a game, you have to complete 10 tasks a day. So start doing that. Start completing your 10 tasks a day, and at the end of it, you celebrate it with, like, whatever it is. Like, maybe find a accountability partner who's able to help you in this, and get better at your game. This is your game, and gamification will help you in so many ways. Now go ahead, gamify your life, see how your life changes, and tell me the results. If I was able to add any value to you in today's life, no, if I was able to add value to you in today's life, please go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. It means a lot. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.